We are 30 days into the January transfer window, and Tottenham look like we have signed a forward. Whether it's going to be Tel or Wissa from Brentford, it looks like right now we are going to sign a forward. And do you know what? It's not the biggest priority for me for Tottenham. I think a defender and a midfielder would be a better considering where we are in the league. But if it's Tel, I'd take it. He looks like he's got bundles of talent, 19 years of age, played at a big club, knows what it's like to win trophies. And then you've got a player like Wissa as well, who's scored lots of goals for Brentford. And it looks like we are, at this moment in time, according to Florian Plettenberg and Fabrizio Romano, pushing to sign Tel. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you have hit that subscribe button. We're steamrolling our way towards 50,000 subscribers. I think we're under 500 away now from 43K. So go down and hit that subscribe button and let me know your thoughts. Now we're going to start with Fabrizio Romano, come out of literally within the last few hours. The latest report he has given is from Fabrice Hawkins that as it stands, 7 clubs are involved, and Aston Villa are the latest club to put their name in the hat. So that's Aston Villa, Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, Spurs, one of the Italian clubs, and another German club. One more club has called today for Mathys Tel. Aston Villa have also asked for the conditions. John Durand leaves to join Al Nassr, and Villa are in the market for a striker with contact made for Tel. Now, it's going to be a very, very, very tough deal to get over the line. Tottenham have a good relationship with Bayern Munich, apparently, over the Eric Dyer and over the Harry Kane deal. Fabrizio Romano also come out and said loan, but also a permanent move, both options for Mathys Tel, as reported yesterday. Bayern director Max Ebel, yes, Tel wants to go, loan or permanent. We will assess all of the options. I've rarely had so many clubs call me about one player before. He added a lot of potential he's got. That's probably one of the main reasons. He also said the race for Tel is starting to heat up. Tottenham are open to invest on a permanent transfer as their director was in attendance last night in Munich. And apparently that was Johan Langer. Chelsea are also there for a permanent deal. Man United called for a loan deal. Now, also Florian Plettenberg, who is probably the most reliable journalist when it comes to German news. He's like the Fabrizio Romano out in Germany, has put out some news in the last 29 minutes. He tweeted out 18 hours ago saying Spurs are definitely very interested in Mathys Tel and are now in direct talks with Tel's management. After Tel decided he wants to leave Bayern, no decision yet, an open race. He then followed that up only 30 minutes ago, actually tagging Spurs, saying Spurs are pushing for Tel. Now, there is a massive, massive race this for Tel. You've got, like Romano said, you've got 7 clubs pushing for him. When you look at him as a player, you know, the Standard have also reported before we get into, Mathys Tel, before we get into Wissa, the Standard have also reported that Spurs sent Johan Langer to watch him yesterday. More on Tottenham's pursuit of Tel. L'Equipe are reporting that Johan Langer, the club's technical director, was the Spurs delegate in Munich last night to discuss a deal for the teenager. Spurs are pushing hardest for Tel and are open for a loan and a permanent transfer. Now, Mathys Tel is 19 years of age, French international, obviously plays at Bayern Munich. Only 3 games in the Champions League this season. However, overall has a pretty decent record at Bayern Munich, considering he only plays a handful of minutes. He's got a decent return in the minutes he's actually played, which I think is 16 or 17 goals in 82 games. Now, of course, Wissa will be a Premier League proven player. He has 16 goals and 7 assists at Bayern Munich. Those are his numbers. His Bundesliga record, he's got 18 GA in 60 games, which is pretty good for a 19-year-old who isn't the main striker, who isn't one of the main forwards. He can, of course, play on the left-hand side as well. So I'd be happy for Tottenham to sign him. The only problem I then have is we're also looking at Dibbling. So you're going to have Mikey Moore, who's 17, 18. Tel, who's 19, 20. Odebear, who's 19, 20. The young Korean player, Hwak Young, we've signed, who's 18, 19. We don't really have a huge amount of experience in our front line. Son and Solanke are our most experienced forwards. That is a little bit of a concern for me. However, I would be very, very happy if we signed him. Now, there's also a lot of news out there saying that we are interested in Wissa from Brentford. Now, Wissa is a very, very, very good player. He ticks a lot of the boxes for me. However, a deal for him to leave this January transfer window, or this winter window, I should call it, because, it does finish in February. It's very unlikely right now that we sign both Tel and Wissa. A club with actually ambition may do that, but that's not us. Fabrice Hall, before we get into that, there's another report come out in the last few minutes. I will come back to Wissa. While we were recording, there's actually some breaking news coming out from Fabrice Hawkins that Bayern want 50 to 60 million euros to sell Tel permanently. Tottenham are pushing. Manchester United and Arsenal also in the mix, as are Aston Villa. So that's 50 million euros. So that's about, what, 44 million pounds, 45 million pounds. But yeah, getting back to Wissa, it's very unlikely that he will leave Brentford this window. There's a lot of links out there linking him to a move in the summer, but I think that's more realistic. They wouldn't have a huge amount of time to get a replacement in. Santi has come out and said Tottenham have opened talks with Brentford for Yoane Wissa as a concrete option and target. We may move for him if Tel moves or signs for another club in that time. But it's all starting to heat up in terms of the Tottenham transfer news, views, and clues. And then you've also got, there is a young striker at AC Milan who we are apparently interested in. And I don't really want this guy. He's got 1 goal in 13 games. I think it's a bit of a gamble. I can't even remember what his name is, to be honest with you, but we are heavily linked with him. His name is Noah Okafor. Now, Romano has come out and said that we are interested in him as well. We're looking to push a striker for the final days of the window. I think he's got 1 goal in 13 games. It's not really my cup of tea, to be honest. We've also got Tyler Dibbling links. The club are set to move for him, as well as Angel Gomez in the summer. So it kind of seems like the idea at the moment is to bring in players under the age of 25, 26. Kind of to a degree, a lot of Premier League clubs do that. Chelsea have adopted that model. As much as I want to bring in a lot of these young talents, we also need to bring in, proper pros, like Premier League established pros, or, players that have had a lot of game time in some of the other top leagues, La Liga or Bundesliga or Serie A or Ligue 1. We're signing a lot of raw, inexperienced players that have got high potential. And if we bring in Tel for 50, 60 million euros, that's going to be close to 470 million euros that Ange just had. That's a lot of money. And the most experienced player we've bought out of all of that is probably Solanke. When you look at it like that, Johnson was a bit of a gamble. Van der Ven was a great signing. Udogie, another not massively experienced player. Porro, another not massively experienced player. Romero does have a lot of experience, obviously internationally winning the World Cup and all that. But I just think we need to sign a cut. If we brought in Wissa, I mean, how old is Wissa or Wissa? So Wissa's 28, got 11 goals in 20 games in the Premier League this season. with 2 assists. He's a very, very good player for Brentford. Overall, in terms of his record for Brentford, he's got 41 goals and 9 assists, 50 goal contributions in 134 games. He's also played 128 games in France and got 56 goal contributions there. 326 games as a player, 122 appearances in the Premier League. He would tick the box as well, but I just don't necessarily think we will get him. I just don't think we'll get him. I think Tel, if we are going to sign someone, he looks the most likely as it stands. But let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have that subscribe button. And I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching.